Hello, Hypebeast Will here. I'm not going to take up too much of your time before Normal Will joins the picture here, but it's easier for me to let you know that Normal Will is not doing so great at the moment. He's had to sell his Contax G2, which I personally, as Hypebeast Will, am not particularly stoked on, because now there's one less Hypebeast camera around here. It's not a good position for me to be in, you know? So what he's done is, at the suggestion of all family and friends and many other wonderful people, started a fundraiser to try and sort out the position the whole cancer thing has put him in. I'm going to let him talk to you more about all that, but just know there's a link in the description, and if you'd like to support the whole cancer recovery thing, you can. Thank you for that, Hypebeast Will. You have the members of the One More Stop Discord community to thank for his appearance, because they were all about that. In fact, there was Brian Burks who suggested that I perhaps employ that technique, which I'm grateful for, because it made that a bit easier. And yeah, I'm going to try to be concise in talking about this and not miserable, because I recorded this in a miserable fashion. It just wasn't very fun to watch. So Hypebeast Will has said the majority of what needs to be said in relation to that whole story. I just feel I need to point out that the selling of my Contax G2, even though I've been hinting at the idea that I wanted to do it for a while, presenting it as something that I wanted to do because I didn't trust the camera isn't really fair to it, and I'd like to apologize to my G2, because I didn't sell it because it was scaring me or because I thought it would break. That's always been a factor in owning a G2, and I've owned, or did own it, for like 7 years, and would happily have carried on owning it if I was in the same position now as I was a year ago, but I had to sell it. And that sort of initiated the idea of maybe actually taking up everyone that said that this would be a good idea, because being in a position where I'm selling off cameras really didn't feel very good. You know, as someone that's like worked for years to like accumulate things that can help with my practice, trying to still be a photographer and selling off cameras just doesn't feel great. So there's a fundraiser thing. If you'd like to contribute, I'd appreciate it immensely. Part of why I want to make this as well is actually just to talk about the nature of healing from the whole cancer thing, because I mean, I have tried to be very optimistic about it all throughout this experience, of my own accord, but also because like my surgeon and doctors were apparently some of the most optimistic people in the world, because if you recall in the initial cancer video I put out, I mentioned that they said that 3 weeks after chemo I should be back to 100%, and that was a lie. And having spoken to people that have gone through similar things, or are going through similar things, or did go through similar things a long while ago, the realization I've come to is that there's a good chance that I never feel quite the same as I did before, and I'm willing to accept that now. Mainly as a result of the position I find myself in, but also because I can't really deny to myself anymore that I just don't have the stamina I used to, no matter what I do. And even if I can push myself through like a hectic work day, which I can, like I'll always be able to push myself through arduous situations, I hope, but the recovery period is just intense and is always so, without fail. So I just like to say that if you know anyone that's gone through this, it's worth recognizing that it isn't like a flu that you just take some pills for and recover from, and then everything's hunky-dory. My hope is that this event also doesn't impact anyone's opinion of me going forward, because I don't know, to myself the perception is kind of that there's an idea of one that lives on the internet, and maybe the idea of me that's going to have lived on the internet before this is that like I'm an independent guy that just manages through everything on his own, and I'm willing to let that go to try get life back on track, basically. So I don't want to spend a whole video complaining. If you can contribute to the fundraiser, that would be amazing, and the goal would be that at least when I work after this fundraiser, it would be working towards, you know, photographic endeavors as opposed to working towards being able to pay off the next 4 years of CT scans, blood tests and checkups. It would also cover like supplements, which hopefully would at least make me feel better in general, that I haven't really been taking, because it's a lot of strain. I mean, the idea that has ended up being somewhat misguided, I guess, was that I built myself up to the place where I was before, so maybe if I worked hard or harder, which has ended up being the case, at least in terms of professional assisting in photographic and set activity, I'd be able to get there again. And what I didn't take into account was just how expensive it is to try and contend with cancer. So yeah, the fundraiser basically is of the hope that some of the load of the whole illness thing can be taken off, and then I'd be working, you know, towards something again, as opposed to working to pay for some stupid x-ray. Because it's really started to weigh me down when I'm like pushing myself to get through a work day on set, and then like getting home and realizing, oh, that just paid for a portion of my next CT scan. Like, it's not a good feeling. But yeah, I want to try avoid rambling and just say thank you once more for everyone's patience with me, and if you can, support the fundraiser, and for watching this, even though I'm sure it's been not the easiest thing to watch since I've done a lot of rambling, and it's not the greatest topic. Yeah, thank you, and I hope to be back in some semblance of a full form soon. I'm not going to try say that things will be normal, but things will be a lot better after this fundraiser, I hope, because I can at least try make headway again.